Hey guys, I'm here with Sergio. How's it going, guy?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Do you want to answer a couple questions?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So the first question is from Jesper. I would love to hear your opinion on what is best, vinyl, CD, streaming, or maybe high-res audio like HD tracks. What do you use and how?
Dude, streaming low quality all the way. That's it. Just streaming it low quality.
That's right. What 64 kilobits per second?
Super grainy, super tinny.
Yeah, kind of like mid 1990s.
Of course.
Back in the day, that was good enough.
It was. It would have been good enough. Would have been. No, I think personally, I don't know. I think I'm like most audio buffs, man. I think I lean towards vinyl. Actually,
yeah.
I personally, I like vinyl. I like the way it sounds. There's something about just that graininess from the needle on the vinyl itself. It's beautiful, and there's something about the warmth that comes out from the audio that's unmatched, and I would say unrivaled, quite ultimately.
Yeah, I would agree. And also, vinyl is getting better over time. Like the vinyl that you would buy, say in the mid 80s, was kind of okay, but nowadays a lot of vinyl is remastered for vinyl. It's on 180 gram vinyl. It's spread out over multiple platters so that the quality is really good and better than you would get back then. So vinyl is definitely one of my favorite ways. Also, too, to be quite honest, I mean, vinyl is where you start, right? So, for instance, I have reference studio monitors right here, so plugged into a really good Mackie mixing board. And once you dive into vinyl, the whole signal path is really important. You need a good receiver, you need all that stuff.
Super important.
But most people aren't going to do that. So I'm kind of curious. You and I were talking in the car about streaming music services because I also use that as well. And so I was telling you the story, and this is a true story. I started off listening to Pandora. Love Pandora. I mean, it was groundbreaking when it first came out. But I really missed the ability to play the exact album when I wanted to, right? And initially you couldn't do that, so I switched over to Spotify. Spotify came out, and oh my God, there's like thousands of albums, right? Great service, and I actually was one of the people who paid for it. So I felt like it was worth it, for $10 a month. And then one day, driving in my car, I'm listening. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to some Scorpions. I love the album Worldwide Live. Okay, so good. 1985, great album. However, on my way to work, I'm listening to this album, and the crowd sounds, because there's a lot of crowd noise. It sounds like almost like a helicopter. It's like this whirly, swishing sound that is happening in my speakers, and I was like, what is going on? This album does not sound like this, right?
Right.
And by the way, on Spotify, you can set the quality of what you want it to be streamed. So I had on maximum. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So my car has a very nice stereo in it.
Sounds good.
It does sound good. And so I couldn't get that Scorpions album out of my mind. Like, it bugged me. And then I was like, okay, live album, I'm not going to worry about it. And then on the way home, I was like, well, I'm a big fan of Opeth. I love Ghost Reveries. I'm like, I'm going to check that out. Sure enough, being on the same device, same stereo, same speakers, Apple Music was noticeably better. And again, that's one of my favorite albums. I'm like, fine. I had all these playlists on Spotify.
I had to switch over.
It killed me to switch over. But at the end of the day, I do want my music to sound good in every scenario that I possibly have control over. And
Absolutely. Again, that's super important, and if it's not doing it for you, man, you gotta switch. There's a little plug for Apple Music there.
I know. I don't mean to plug just for Apple Music, but I do believe in going for the best solution. Although, to be fair, I've heard that Tidal is the best. So Tidal is a streaming service. I think it's started by Kanye West and a bunch of other people. It's a subscription model. It's the highest quality version. I'd love to try it, but they don't have all the music, so
yeah.
So hopefully that's a good answer for you. Although I'd love to know down in the comments what you guys think. Obviously there's FLAC and a bunch of other formats, lossless. So love to know what you guys think. The next question is from Reese. They're asking, what turntable would you recommend to buy for those who don't have a very good one or wish to get started or expand upon their vinyl collection? So you have vinyl. You have some vinyl in your house, right?
Yes, I do. I personally, I've always kind of stuck with Audio Technica.
Yeah.
They've done well by me.
Yep.
So And then you pair that with a really nice needle, I think you'll be okay. You know, just we were talking about that earlier. I think just make sure you spend, you know, at least anywhere from $30 to $50 on a good needle.
Yes.
And it'll make, you know, it'll sound better. But again, the player has to be good too. You can't have an amazing needle on a terrible player, because then you're not going to get good sound, good quality audio. So
yeah, that's very true. So Audio-Technica, I think, is the go-to for a lot of people. The thing to know about Audio-Technica, though, is that is a big company. It's like saying Sony. If you were to buy a Sony television, you know, it's like they have the super high end, and they also have, you know, the lower end beginner grades televisions. Same thing with Audio-Technica. You can get something that's really cheaper, but if you're going to go for vinyl, you got to spend the money. And so I always say $200 or more. That should be your budget for a record, because like you, or a turntable, because like you said, I mean, the needle itself and the cartridge can be $30 to $50 just by itself. Plus you want a really stable motor, because if that thing is, you know, spinning up and slowing down, that's the worst.
It's not terrible. You don't want that, no.
It doesn't matter how good your needle is if it can't keep a steady rotation, you know. Plus there's other things to consider about vinyl. Turntables back in the 70s did not come with preamps. You had to have a receiver that had phono input. Yes. Very, very important when doing this. Yes. So you have to consider that if you're going to buy something older, or maybe something like that around the $200 range, it may not come with a preamp that is... it may not come with one, or it may have a really low quality one.
I actually found a really nice preamp. Now I'm forgetting what brand it was, but I found it over at a Goodwill. You know?
Yeah.
And it was in great shape. It sounded amazing, and I crank it through some really nice speakers, and pretty awesome stuff. I mean, I think you could find some really good stuff. Oh, out of the, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's the thing about vinyl. It's been around for 100 years, right? And it was really considered perfected during the 70s and 80s. I mean, basically those companies that were making it were making it for decades. And so you can find some great stuff at pawn shops, Goodwills, Craigslist, things like that. When it comes to turntables, you might need to tune them up a little bit. You might have to buy a new needle. Maybe you have to get a new belt for it, things like that. But a lot of people swear by turntables from the late 70s. Like a lot of people consider the Japanese turntables at that time and the receivers to be the ultimate ever made.
That's what I have, actually. I think it's from the late 70s, early 80s.
Really?
Turntable, yes.
I'm jealous. That's pretty cool.
That was actually a Craigslist find.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh my God. And so if you're curious, for me, now I've said all of that about Audio-Technica, I actually have a TIAC TN300 behind us here. So TIAC is another company that has made turntables for years. It's one that it's a little bit more expensive. I like it because it's pretty.
It looks pretty awesome, actually. I do like it.
It is very pretty. And it has a good preamp built into it. So while it was more than $200, it came with everything that I really wanted. A good needle, a preamp built in there. It looks really nice. Nice. You know, it's
plug and play then, yeah?
It is. And also it has USB out. So for instance, if you wanted to digitize an album, my turntable will do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, well, that's something to consider then. Christmas gift or something?
Yeah, really. All right, guys. Thanks very much for the question. This question was asked by one of my Patreon contributors who helped support my YouTube channel and help shape the content of my videos. In addition to asking questions like this, they also get access to a private chat, an audio podcast, and early access to most of my Friday videos. You can also set the amount you want to contribute, and you can leave or change it at any time. If you'd like to help support my videos and become part of the Metal Militia, please go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks.